Klein, no.
Okay. Welcome back to the From the Fabricator podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Max Pearlstein, and I'm your host. And once again, another great podcast with an interesting approach this month, East and West. Ashley Klein of AK Glazing on the East Coast, South Florida. Evan Afenir from the West Coast, San Diego, SoCal. Great pair. I can't ask for anything more. Young, smart, sharp, really cool people hitting it off on this podcast. A slight little technical glitch on Ashley's, but I let it roll through because you can pick up what she's putting out there. Really, really talented. So please check that out. That's all coming up. This podcast is brought to you by myglassclass.com. If you need training of any sort, 24/7, 365 on demand from the National Glass Association, go to myglassclass.com. More than 100 courses, more than 60 of them in Spanish, and really everything you need to know to not only get going in the glass and glazing industry, but expand your knowledge. myglassclass.com. All right. Let's get this thing rolling. Two great guests, Ashley Klein, AK Glazing, Evan Afenir, Double Play Glass. Here we go. Okay. To kick things off this month, I am thrilled to have Ashley Klein, president of AK Glazing Contractors out of Florida. Find them online at www.akglazing.com. Great company, and Ashley's a tremendous person. Ashley, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Oh, Max, I'm so happy to be here. This is my first ever podcast, either visual or audio recording. And I'm so excited to do it with you.
I'm thrilled.
For sure.
I'm thrilled. So let's talk about you to kick things off. I mean, how did you end up in this crazy business and really, your path to, running and owning AK?
Okay, so everyone has a journey and a story, and mine started in little old North Scituate, Rhode Island, where I was born and raised by my mom and dad, and I have a sister. I completed high school up there, and I had family in the South Florida area, and that's where my dad had lived at the time, 2006. Many moons ago.
Right.
I decided to venture down to South Florida for college. I went to Nova Southeastern University, studied business. Wasn't quite sure exactly which business I wanted to be a part of, but growing up in a family of entrepreneurs, and also I'm now second generation glass and glazer, installations,
Right.
But at the time when I was growing, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was thinking about psychology. I wanted to go in dermatology. Regardless of what ology it was, I knew that it was business related. You need accounting, you need receivables, you need, HR, you need to, there's people involved, leadership, management. So I chose to go to business school. As part of me studying and also working at Nova Southeastern University, I learned a lot of administrative skills that I find most valuable even now, even today.
Right.
Whether it was being a secretary for for the College of Pharmacy there, or then I transitioned over to the Graduate School of Computer and Information Sciences. I learned a little techie things, and how to do a spreadsheet, and involved myself with programs that the university provided to grow employee knowledge, and I took advantage of all of those opportunities, which really benefits me now. And
Right.
because, I don't know everything, about glass and glazing, I'm always excited to learn and hear
Yes.
a different, better, or just a good way. So with that being said, I completed my college career, graduated in 2013. I traveled over the summer. And in that time of graduating and growing, his business, which I was a part of my entire life.
Right.
I've heard about glass since I was a kid.
Sure.
I've been a part of it. It's just in my blood.
Right.
So with that being said, I was supporting him administratively with his company. I decided to approach him and said, Dad, I've got a degree now. I'm really excited. I want to get some boots on the ground. I want to get involved. And with that being said, he goes, yeah, here's a can of xylene. Here's some touch-up paint. You get some, boots and stuck me in a building.
Yep.
So we started doing service work. We were replacing handles that were broken in existing buildings. We replaced bumpers or, lubricated tracks to make the door operate better. It was me and four guys that I hired that are still with me today, 10 years later.
Love it.
And I don't know how they, continue to be a part of my crazy, but clearly they drank the punch.
Yes.
And and I have, and then when that, I got my boots dirty per se. And then in 2013, November, I incorporated AK Glazing Contractors.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's quite a journey, from little old North Situate, Rhode Island. I graduated public school with 96 kids in my class and, 7 stoplights in the whole town. And, now I'm in South Florida and, it's incredible. I'm here with my family, with my friends. And when I say family, I mean my people, my AKers, and everyone that shows up in the morning for their families. And go home to them every night. So it's super exciting and motivating. It gets you out of bed in the morning.
It does. And I have to tell you, I have chills because I'm thinking about you starting off with fixing a door lock, fixing a handle. And then the time that I met you for the first time in person is you're doing a skyscraper. You're doing this unbelievable condo in West Palm. That you have to look back and go, oh my gosh. I mean, that's such a mind blower to go from, it is an American success story to go from something so small to something so big. That has to blow you away a little bit looking back. Congrats to you.
Thank you. And absolutely it does. And I get reminded every day that, I'm a part of the equation, right? I can only contribute my best self moving forward. I can't do it all. AK cannot do it all. This industry sometimes can be brutal. I've had a lot of opportunity that I will given opportunities to be successful because of relationships, and a lot of that has to do with quality and workmanship. And just our basic fundamentals and principles about safety and our people and our clients and our product that we install. All of that has to jive. If it doesn't, then it's a recipe for disaster. And you might have to tweak things and add a little salt and pepper here and there, but overall, it's stick to basics. Stick to what you know, do quality work, and the hardest thing about what we do is to say no. It's hard. So when we're presented opportunities to do these skyscrapers, our tallest here at AK is 86 stories. That's Panorama Tower in Miami, Florida here. Iconic, monumental, beautiful beast. I mean, it's glassy from ground to rooftop. It is it's a skyscraper by definition for sure, and it's also providing homes for people. It's providing apartments for whether you're here on vacation, whether you're a new resident to the South Florida, maybe you're coming to work on Brickell, or a part of what we do isn't just building a structure that's going to last a lifetime. It's also providing homes and communities and developing those little inner city, moments where we all benefit in this world. So super exciting. Beyond the building, it hits home, on the side.
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful. And so this is very cool. I'm with Ashley Klein, president of AK Glazing Contractors. See them online at akglazing.com.
I do
And
have to say my website is extremely out of date, so pardon, pardon. I think the last building I posted, because I do it myself on Wix. Shout out to Wix. But I do have to do some updating. LinkedIn is probably the best place that I've showcased the most latest work.
yeah, follow Ashley on LinkedIn. And funny about LinkedIn, NGA had posted Ashley 2 years ago in their Glazer series. I think it was the most popular post NGA ever had. So Ashley has a heck of a following. And so check all of that out. And there's just so much going through my head. And I do I love the family aspect. You said you have the 4 folks that you worked with. You're still with you. And that was the one thing that I really noticed. You invited Andrew Herring and I to a topping out ceremony in West Palm last year. And I'd never been to a topping out ceremony. Incredibly cool. Thank you again. It was like one of those bucket list things for me. But the thing I noticed was watching you work the room. And I was really blown away. Not only were you just so engaged with your team and the culture of your team, but with the other trades, with the developers. I mean, you're on a first name basis with these developers. I mean, you really had a lot going on. How do you keep it all going? I mean, you jam this podcast in, you're at a restaurant in Miami, obviously not far from a job site. How do you keep it all going, Ashley? I'm just curious because you've got a lot in the air.
Well, let me show you a little cafecito. Down here we have Cuban coffee in Miami.
Yeah. It's powerful.
So
it's
that
powerful.
It sure is, and it runs through my blood.
Got it.
I want to thank you very much for you making me blush. But this is a collective effort. When we are on a job site, we are all working for the mission. We all have our eye on completing the project. We all are critical to the critical path and this schedule for completion. And developers, general contractors, trades, whether you're a plumber, electrician, HVAC, all, it's mason, stucco, paint, interior cabinets, the countertop guy, the cleaning personnel, and the day laborers that take the trash out of the building.
Yeah.
Everyone plays a critical part to this madness.
Yeah.
And we are all working towards one final product, and that is the completion of the building. And where we going next?
Yes.
That's what I want to know. When we start, it's powerhouse and through, and then where we going next? Because you create relationships, and whether you're not working with each other side by side, hand by hand, you develop a rapport with it's our office. Yeah. Our water cooler talk is in a buck hoist. Our moment of is maybe at the Roach Coach on our morning break, but right. This is our office. Yeah. It changes depending when we're transitioning to a new project or mobilizing somewhere else, but we see a lot of familiar faces, and that's relieving, because that their mentality and their workmanship, it speaks for itself.
Sure.
And we rub elbows with a lot of familiar faces, and also trades and contractors, developers, and that is what I'm forever grateful for.
Yeah, because, and I think that's a hidden. Yeah. I think that's a hidden skill, is that the fact that you do spend time with the everything from the day laborers up to the drywall guys and gals and everything. And I do think it leads to future work. It leads to that networking. Again, I watched you. You did not sit still for a second. You didn't eat. The rest of us are grabbing our nice little box lunches. You're working. You worked that entire topping off ceremony. So it was really impressive. And your folks, everybody from AK is such a great ambassador to the glass and glazing industry. Really impressive people. So kudos to you and your team on that one.
Thank you. I will share the love. They're very hard workers, and I even say it sometimes, as much as I do my bouncing around, I feel that they sometimes, we're all in this together. Yeah. Lead by example, but sometimes I need some motivation, and they give it to me, so it keeps me going.
Impressive people. They did not let me fall off the building or walk into anything, so that was the big thing, keeping me safe. So that was great.
Yeah, no leading edges for Max. No leading edges.
No, keep me away from it. Absolutely. So I have to ask, you are a successful woman entrepreneur. You have that entrepreneurial spirit. This is a tough industry for a woman. And so kind of a two-part question. One, how has the journey been being a woman owner, going to these job sites that are mostly dominated by men? And how do we get more women like you, involved in the trade and growing into these high management positions?
Sure, sure. I I have found through experience these past 10 years that the industry doesn't care if you're a woman. It kind of doesn't care if you're a man. You could be purple upside down and backwards. If you do shitty work, you're not going to get the next job. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate to be blunt, but
Perfect.
they don't,
Yeah.
the critical path doesn't care what, if you put your mascara on in the morning or you put a pair of boots on. It doesn't, that critical path, it's all about the completion of the project
Nice.
successfully. You can
Nice.
complete anything. You have to complete it successfully. And no matter if your name is Sally or Sam, that doesn't matter to who matters.
Right. Right. No.
Okay, so that then that to me, and also when I was invited to speak on a panel for women empowering women in development
Right.
during Women in Construction Month a couple
Hmm.
years ago, and that same question came up, and I was also side by side with other women in construction and other industry fields who were very powerful. They were successful. They have many more generations that I have had an experience with working with men and women. And I think the industries are more tough than the people we work with.
Yeah.
I think that there's a cloud and a stigma and a stereotype of, women can't have a pair of boots and sit at a job meeting. I think that's BS. I
Absolutely.
think you
Yeah.
got to show up. I think you got to knock on the door. And I think you have to put your best foot forward every damn day.
Yep.
And no one cares what you are.
Yeah, and if you're getting it done, results matter. Results matter, and
Sure.
obviously you've shown it, and so that's great. I like your approach. Very very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's simple, kind of.
yeah, yeah, and it is about just going after it, and but I do think everybody has to battle in this world, and I do think you have to do it and do it right, and then people I
Yep.
think immediately respect it. So that's good take. Thank you. So a few more questions because I know you've got a lot going on, and so just to lighten it up a little bit, a fun one. I know you just got back from a memorable trip and a memorable vacation. So tell me, what's left on your vacation bucket list? Where in the world does Ashley Klein want to go that you have not gone yet?
Oh, that's a toughie. I love to travel. I wish I could do more of it, but
Right.
and that just makes the traveling time more meaningful and special for me. This last trip was to Israel. We went to Tel Aviv. My best friend was married to the love of her life,
Nice.
and we expanded a little before and a little after to take advantage of the flight.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're
The
going all
15
that way.
hour,
You might as well
the
do it.
15 hour,
Absolutely.
might as well,
Yeah.
Baruch atah, I
Yes.
got to do something over there. So
Yes.
we had an amazing time in the country. We did day tours, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. The Dead Sea was awesome. My next biggie
Yeah.
probably won't be for a while, but I'm looking forward to going to Greece.
Nice. Wonderful.
I've
Wonderful.
never been to Greece. I
Okay.
see the blue and the white Mykonos in the ocean, and I love Greek food, so why not?
Oh, that's going to be
And
wonderful.
I hear the wine pretty good too.
I've heard that too. Wonderful. That'll be a heck of a trip. Good for you. Good for you. And I'm glad you had a good
Yeah,
vacation and good time in Israel. It's been many
it
years.
was
I went
very
to
refreshing.
Yes, I was in Israel in 1985. That's how long ago it was for me, and I'm sure it's changed a little bit since then. But there's still the history there. The history is still there. So that's awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you.
Sure is.
Couple more with
Welcome.
Ashley Klein, president of AK Glazing Contractors. I think one of the big things is that because you're doing some really prominent work, and especially in an area like South Florida, you're probably running into products that other people may not see, or you're running into them first. What product line has you excited, or what sort of thing are you working on that you're like, hey, this is the next great thing in my world?
So I don't know if it's the next great thing, but it is the greatest thing.
Tell me.
I'm a big advocate and supporter of the ES Windows Technoglass product line.
Yes.
I'm not a paid advertiser. No one told me to say this. Their products are sound. Their products don't leak if they're installed correctly.
Yes.
They are the #1 brand for high-rise building design, manufacturing. They do facade systems, aluminum paneling, whatever is under their belt and hidden and coming out pretty soon, I hear is very exciting. Unitized monster panels, curtain wall.
Nice.
They're bending glass that is at radiuses that are, how does that even happen with hurricane rated products that meet code, and the buildings are tens of stories tall, never mind close to 100.
Right.
Very excited to see what they have under their rug for this upcoming 2024 year. I would love to be a part of their new product or any innovative iconic pieces or something new. At AK Glazing, we actually installed their first ADA hurricane impact rated sliding glass door.
Very nice.
That was super exciting for us. This allows someone with maybe a wheelchair or a walker to exit the hotel room and transition into the patio without a threshold.
Perfect.
You know, how
That's amazing.
Awesome is that for someone to have that opportunity now? Yeah. And it didn't exist. I mean, the threshold before, maybe 3, 4, 5 inches, whatever it was, because the wind loads and the frame had to be a certain way or the paneling. Now ES created that years ago, and it's like, it's heartfelt. You know, it's more than just a product for them. It's more than just installing glass in a building. It's about the functionality. It's about the use, the consumer, the tint, the color. They're completely custom. You can pick everything from covers on. I mean, I'm just an advocate, and I love their system. I love their series, and they don't leak.
Well, and I think
helps me with my water test.
heck yeah, and I think, you know, when you get into a groove and you're on a project like you are, you know, that's 80 stories tall, you need something you can depend on, and I can vibe with your passion for it, because again, it's all about a partnership. You know, you're partners with your suppliers, and if your suppliers come through for you, that makes you all the better. So that makes total sense. And I think I lost you there for a second. Are you there?
Sure.
Yep. There you are.
And I know big or small, the installers that do install the ES, I think so too. Yeah, it was a little glitchy, but I do know whether you're an installer big or small for them, they have been the most helpful manufacturer we've ever worked with. We are independent. We have installed other manufactured products, but my employees' favorite is the ES Windows Technoglass systems.
Makes
commercial
sense.
And residential.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So one more question before I let you go. Business for 2024. How you looking? How's AK Glazing looking 2024 and beyond? You looking good?
Nice. Yes.
Those of you only listening, she gave me 2 thumbs up. So that's perfect. I love it. Go for it. Go ahead.
Something super exciting about South Florida is it's transitioning from or traveling from Broward to Dade to West Palm Beach, and you see the horizon and the beautiful water, and then all these tower cranes, Max.
Yes.
That excites me.
Yes.
That brings emphasis to why we're doing what we're doing. We're building homes for people. We're building communities. We're building, everyone is excited about 2024 down here and beyond. It goes beyond 2024. You know that some projects for us and most other commercial installers that they lapse over a year in time, and what we see change in the skyline is incredible. And to be a part of any of that, big or small, count me in.
I love it. It's a good positivity, and South Florida is rocking. And so you're definitely in the right place, my friend. Very, very cool. Thank you. And this has been great. You were worried about this. You see how good this was. This went out without a problem.
I know. Thank you, Max. Oh, and thank you to your listeners. And I will get on updating that website, but LinkedIn is definitely the best place to get at me.
Yep.
Also, I am attending GlassBuild. I don't know if you heard,
Yes,
but I'm
I
super
saw the
excited.
cool cartoon there. So that was very cool. So I look
Yeah,
forward to
thanks,
seeing you in Atlanta.
Andrew.
Yep, Andrew Herring, very clutch. So yeah,
Yeah, he
well, good,
is.
good. We will see you in Atlanta in October, and if not
Okay.
sooner. And I have my AK Glazing hat, which I'm very grateful
Yay!
for. That the gear there has been very very clutch. Oh, I like that one. And
Yeah, these are my. I think I like these too.
the hunting with the I like the camo with the flag. Very nice. So
Yeah.
you are awesome, Ashley. AK Glazing Contractors, Ashley Klein. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone, and thank you, Max.
You bet. Thank you.
Bye.
Work in the glass or fenestration industry? Build your team, business, and livelihood by attending the biggest industry event of the year, GlassBuild America. Join your peers, prospects, and competitors in Atlanta October 31st through November 2nd for the ultimate business building and networking event, GlassBuild America. Learn more and register at glassbuild.com. That's glassbuild.com. Register for free using promo code POD.
Okay. This is a good one for me. First time actually, getting to spend some time with this guy, and I've been looking forward to it. Evan Afner, Vice President and owner of Double Play Glass out in Southern California. You can find them online at DP Glassco. That's DPGLASSCO.com. Great website, great company. And Evan, thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been excited for a while to get on here. So respect what you do for our industry. So happy to be here.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you. I love your youth and your energy, and your company I'm a huge fan of, and we're going to talk about that as we get rolling into this. But let's start about you. And the one thing I did not know about you until recently, you came a little bit from a baseball family. So now I'm starting to
Yeah.
understand the double play glass aspect. But were you born in California? Where did you grow up, go to school? Talk a little bit about your past.
Yeah, so I was born in Escondido, actually, where we run our business.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a big time baseball family, overwhelmingly so. Yeah, like all the men in our family played in the minor leagues pretty much. My uncle played in the major leagues. He caught Nolan Ryan.
Right.
And yeah, my brother played for the Yankees. So ton of baseball. But for me, I only made it to college and wanted to get my engineering degree. So kind of opted out my freshman year.
Gotcha. And so where'd you end up going to college?
So I went to college at UC San Diego.
Okay.
And studied structural engineering.
Okay. So you were blessed with the brains. This is exciting. I like this.
I don't know. My sister's a orthopedic surgeon, so she pretty much takes the cake for us.
she may, but engineering's not easy, and what we do in this industry is not easy, and the jobs that you guys do are not easy. So I have a lot of respect for what's gone through your brain and what you've done. And so let's talk about it. So Double Play Glass, is this a family business? That's the one thing I guess that's my first question. Is it you? Is it other people? Because you are, obviously I introduced you as vice president and owner. How did this all come about? Talk a little bit about Double Play Glass.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad ran San Diego Glass and Mirror or in window in like early 2000s, and he was president. And then 2008 kind of kicked us all, and yeah, the company went under, and he started our company, Double Play Glass.
Nice.
But it started out pretty much as showers and mirrors, because that's the company that he came from. Pretty much did that.
Okay.
And then my brother came on after he played professional ball, and then he came on as a partner with my dad. They started doing storefronts for a while. And then I graduated college, went and worked for Flatiron Construction,
Okay.
who does heavy civil, and I was doing false work design for bridges along the 5. And
Okay.
then my brother just really, he sucked me into the family business. I worked since I was, I don't know, 9 years old or so, just working after hours and in summer times with my dad. And then I promised myself I'd never go in. And here I am, operating it. So
I get a bunch of offshoot questions. One, Did you ever want to be in in the family sort of business and be in the glass industry? I mean, even though your dad was, doing it, did you want to be in this?
Um, I really saw myself doing structural engineering
Okay.
and designing buildings and bridges. I'm like fascinated with bridges. But just I don't know. I wanted to work with my family. That was a big thing. Quest in itself. But I wanted to work with my family, and then I got a good taste of the entrepreneurial spirit, and I've loved that. I've loved building a business. I've loved working with people, and just seeing how many different flavors there are on our team. And some people get hard love, and some people, the opposite. So it's just I really, really love running a business. That's my favorite part. And then secondly, I love the glazing trade. It's got to be one of the smartest trades out there. You need smart people to run it, and so it's just I fell in love with glazing. So no, not at first to answer your
Yep.
question, but now I couldn't see myself doing any other trade. I love it.
Well, I'm thrilled you're with us, and you make a difference. We need that youth and that brain power that you bring to the table. So that's great. And it's funny. I didn't want to be in this business, and you've probably heard that because I know you've listened to some of my pods. And
Yeah.
I had no desire to be, and it was my brother as well who was like, "Hey, give it a shot," sort of thing. And it sounds like you went through the same thing. How beneficial though was the experience of not working in the glass industry? Before you came in, you got a different sort of taste before you came to our world.
Yeah. I wish someone would have prepared me better going into the job market out of college,
Sure.
because I came out of college and I'm like, oh, I got a structural engineering degree, like I'm set. And I
Right.
wish somebody would have just smacked me in the head and said, look, you know nothing, like you need to earn your stripes. Just learn as much as you can from people as fast as you can.
Right.
Put your head down and work as hard as you can. And I wish somebody would have told me that, because I probably would have grown a lot faster than I did.
Yeah. But that's, that comes naturally. I think we all wish we could go back, and do what we know now then sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd kill to be 20 right now with my knowledge as a 55-year-old. I'd be dangerous,
Yeah.
dangerous. I'd still be ugly as hell, but I'd be dangerous,
Yeah.
but just that knowledge and that maturity, you need that. And I think that,
Yeah.
it's good that you realized it, and now you're putting it to good. And what fascinates me about double play glass is it's funny, you talked about the start of it was just shower doors, and it kind of grew. Your product line is incredibly vast. I'm
Yeah.
amazed by that. How do you
That may
how
be
do
my fault.
well, it sounds like it because you obviously have that desire, that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive. But how do you keep all that straight?
Yeah, it's been tough. Like just when I started, and when we were doing only a couple $100,000 a year, I just wanted to be as good as, the top. And
Yeah,
the only way to do that is to, learn as many scopes as possible and to get good at them. And so, I just tried to cut my teeth as much as I could with as many scopes as possible. And to be honest, like now that we're scaling the company, it's really hard to scale that many scopes. And we're actually trying to reel back and try and get really skilled on curtain wall and storefront, and just
okay,
really hone in, because you kind of play yourself out of different scopes too, because maybe you're not as competitive because you have guys that are really good at curtain wall. They may get paid more than
sure.
other scopes. And so you really do need to hone in on a couple different good scopes. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions out there, but yeah, we've kind of turned the boat in a different direction. But yeah, I mean, we take pride in that our glazers are well rounded, and
Yeah.
they can handle a lot of different scopes. And I've been told that when we hire people from different companies, they come over here and they're like, glass railing. I've never done glass railing. I've only done unitized. I don't
Right.
know, how to do that or whatever. And so it was eye opening to get guys from other shops that we do a lot of different things. But yeah, definitely try and bite off a lot there.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm with Evan Afner, Vice President owner, Double Play Glass out in California, Escondido, dpglassco.com. And you can see the website when I'm talking about the vastness. They have the commercial side, the residential side, and you talked about everything from shower doors to curtain wall. And so on some of the projects. One of my favorites was, I had it on my project of the week on my blog, Crown Air. Incredible
Yeah.
project of yours. I mean, just my gosh, the thing is so beautiful. But
Thank
I'm
you.
curious. You're welcome. I'm curious. That to me was my all-time favorite double play glass project. What was yours, and why?
Yeah, that was a great one for us. It was kind of like a breakthrough into the curtain wall and storefront, really on like a ground up build.
It's a tough
Um,
breakthrough. That's not an
yeah,
easy. That's not an easy icebreaker, my
it
friend.
was a tough one, especially since I've just learned so much since that project on how to prefabricate frames. And I feel like people start and they start stick building stuff, and maybe they just try and figure it out as they go. And that definitely wasn't a project that you figure one out as you go. And I just feel like if we went back and did that one, we could do it so much faster and
Right.
so much better. But regardless, we got it done with what resources we had, and it's a beautiful project. So yeah, I love that project. But recently we did a project called Evan 13th
Okay.
downtown. We took over an existing glazing scope from a contractor that couldn't finish it, and we got on the project, and they took the whole scaffold down on 8 stories, and we had the whole skin of the building.
Oh
And
wow.
it's like they're like, "Can you come help us put this storefront in? We're gonna take the scaffold down." So we're like, well, we got to do it from swing stages." And they're like, "Can you do that?" No.
Oh
So
wow.
we had to get the whole company swing stage certified, and then we built the whole 8 story skin off swing stages. And man, just to see the maturity of some of our guys, and just I love how when opportunity presents itself, the people who want it, they step up and they do
Yep.
it.
I
So
love.
that was great to see.
I love it's project that like that really show the metal and the heart of a company,
Absolutely.
and I love that that's what you picked. And I've had past guests like Omar Malouf of Momentum Glass, Tom Jackson of Steel Encounters, and those guys have picked similar projects that weren't the sexiest, weren't the
Right.
biggest,
Yep.
weren't the most prominent, but they were ones that tested the metal of the company and really
Mhm.
showed what sort of guile and heart you have. So kudos to you and the team. That's fantastic. Congrats.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it, Max. When we got on site, like most of the glass was already ordered, and there was probably 500 pieces of glass on site, and none of them had labels.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Ah,
so we had to go through. And I remember our guys had manifests of like sizes we were measuring, and it's full T&M, so we were protected, but it was tough. It definitely tested patience and our skills, and it brought us together. That's why I love it so much. And every time I pass it, of course, your wife just sees it as a building, but you're like, "Oh, we built that,"
no, that's the best. I mean, and see, I mean, my wife was in the industry, and so she could, she could really, she gets into the same things that I get into. But with my kids, they really didn't understand it. But now I have like my kids. My daughter started a new job, and she came home. She goes, Dad, the insulated glass has PDC's logo, our old company way back in the day. I'm like, no way, it's Poppy's
That's so
glass. My
cool.
dad. I said, that's so awesome. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
now they're starting to pick it up, even though they're older. They don't want to be in this business. That's their problem. I'll beg them continually. But I love the fact that you have that same pride as you drive by. You should. That's a day maker, man. That's
Yeah.
big. So congrats to you and the team on that one. I love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, I'm waiting for that one project to go by where she says, "Wow, that's a good one." I'm
Just a
waiting for
matter of
that
time.
that breakthrough.
Just a matter of time, and you get that newborn baby, and that newborn one of these days is gonna be, Dad. That I like
Yeah,
that. Yep. So you're gonna
yeah,
get that. You're gonna get
exactly.
that. So very cool. All right. So mixing it up a little bit, fun one because we've been taking serious looks at your world there. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, on you. You're a lot younger than I am, but what's your favorite hype song, music, or group? What gets Evan Afner fired up musically?
Me and my wife listen to country like a ton,
Okay.
so we're like huge country fans.
Like
New
Morgan
country.
Wallen, Kenny Chesney. What are we talking
Actually,
country?
just saw Morgan Wallen last weekend. So we
Nice.
had our first, me and my wife's first outing since we had our baby. So our her parents stepped up and watched the baby for a little bit. We got to get out and have a
Super.
few drinks. It was fun.
Super. And he put on, did
Yeah.
he actually go through with the show, or did he cancel like 2 seconds in like he had done in a couple other venues? He actually finished
Oh
the show
yeah,
for
I
you
heard
guys?
about that. He had like
Yeah.
a rest or something, a voice rest or something.
Yep.
But yeah, we got to see him, and it was really fun. It was at Petco Park. It was pretty
Beautiful.
fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but
All right.
I like new country. I like old country too. So
Okay.
see me with little Hank Williams Jr. on the jukebox.
Very nice. Well, yeah, you got that West Coast country as you go up the coast. You've
Yeah,
got the West Coast country. Because Nashville's not as much of the home of the is like what Waylon Jennings is, I think, from California,
yeah,
and so you have that country going too. So very cool.
yeah.
I
It's
like
funny.
it.
I actually named my daughter Waylon.
That's awesome. Had no idea. Great taste. Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
So,
I like it. I like it.
a lot of country.
Well, very, very cool. All right, that works for me. That works for me. And
Awesome.
I love all music. So I can, my iPod is ridiculous with the mix that's on there.
Yeah.
You name it, I've got something from someone on it. But definitely love country. I've seen Kenny Chesney several times. That's been a
Oh
daughter,
man, that's
daughter
great.
daddy sort of thing. When he would do the stadium tours, my daughter and I would go every year and
That's
love seeing
awesome.
Kenny in concert. We talk about a
Oh, I
guy who
love
puts
to
on a
see
heck of
that.
a concert. Kenny Chesney puts on
Heck
a heck of a
yeah.
concert.
Yeah, I've seen Tim McGraw. He put on an awesome event. Yeah, I bet Kenny would put on a good concert.
Yeah, Kenny did it, and the best part about Kenny is he'd always bring people like Eric Church, Miranda Lambert, Old Dominion. I
Oh,
mean, his openers were like headliners.
yeah.
I mean, who could those three I just mentioned are headliners, and they
Yeah.
opened for him.
Yeah, they would
Uh,
be headliners at like Stagecoach.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah. So very
that's
cool.
funny.
I like your taste. Okay. I know you're busy because you're juggling a bunch of stuff. A few more questions though for
I'm
you.
good.
I really appreciate you doing the podcast. Evan Afner, VP and owner over at Double Play Glass out in California. dpglassco.com is the website. Check that out. So I'm curious, technologies and products. Obviously you guys are very vast. You get into a lot of different things, but one of the things that I wrote you as I was kind of planning this out is when I see trends, they usually start in California and they come east. So I'm curious, what are you seeing out there? What has you excited, glass and aluminum wise? Anything that's got you fired up about our industry and product wise?
Yeah, I mean, it may be kind of a unique answer, just because I really want to go towards pre-glazed systems and try and scale as close as I can to get to maybe someday start unitizing. But
Sure.
like YKK's got some great pre-glazed systems that they have introduced, and I really like seeing different pre-glazed options, and I'm really starting to try and cut my teeth on those.
Nice.
So so yeah, I like seeing those, and then also it's funny because like once you start pre-glazing, it things get heavier real quick, you know.
Yes.
So I like seeing all the glass manipulators that are coming out, and you can see them, you can drive with them, you can put them on, you can hang them with cup racks, you can put them. I've even seen them. You can put them on the reach forks. They have that, So I really like seeing those, and I'd like to look into possibly purchasing maybe one of those here soon, as we get those heavy. And also IGs are just getting bigger and bigger. I
Yeah.
swear, it's like
Yeah.
oversized. It's like just taking over the world. And like you can't set those with anything but a manipulator, you know?
No, and I love the manipulator options, and there's now coming some more robotic options, that are
Yeah.
coming to the job site. And for you, yeah, you've got the culture and a team, but manpower is hard to find. People power is hard to
Yep.
find, and you're going to need as much manipulation and robotics as you can get. And we get that in the fabrication side, but it's harder to do it at the job site side. So whenever you can find an avenue to do that, or pre-glaze in shop and
Yep.
and do it, that you have to do. That's smart. That's smart on you.
Yeah, it opens up a lot of different problems though, because like when we started fabricating in house, and just doing as much as we could in the shop, it just opened up so many problems I didn't foresee. Like the climate control in the shop now. There's way
Yeah.
more people in the shop. You have to worry about the climate, and then now we're running out of space because now we have to store a bunch of stuff that's pre-glazed. And
Space is
the
a
way
big issue. Yeah.
yeah, and the way we bill has to be different now because the contractor doesn't see the window until it's on site, and we've already paid for the material, we've already built the material, Like there's so much cost up front associated with that. And it's just like, gosh, there's so many problems that open up when you change your business like that. I did not foresee fleets, like getting the glazed units down there is tough, getting it in the hole because it's heavier now, like it's
Yeah.
just so many different problems.
They are. It's funny because I have a lot of friends who are in the unitized business, and there's that initial assumption of, oh my gosh, it's so much easier. Uh,
Yeah,
but but
yeah.
but it just opens up a different set of problems. Is all
Yes.
it is. But it does change your problem level a little bit because it changes where your labor is used and your
Mm,
job site scenarios and some of the controllability, quite frankly. And you probably
yes.
like that additional control and oversight because you seem like a dot the I's, cross the T's sort of guy, especially you're an engineer. That's in your blood. You have
Yeah.
more of that when you have the pre-glaze.
Yeah, yeah. And it also, like, on top of what you're saying with quality control, is you hit it right on the head with quality control. It solves kind of the labor issue too, because you can stick your most experienced guys in the right places, and then you have to have one really experienced guys with maybe a couple green guys out in the field putting it in. But it's once it goes to the field, it's like 80% there. I mean, someone smart has already measured it, someone smart has already designed it, someone smart has already fabricated it, or substitute smart with experience, and it just solves kind of a lot of those problems, especially with the labor issues that we're seeing. So I haven't maybe achieved what I was trying to do with pre-glaze as far as quickness, but definitely the quality and the labor has helped out a ton.
Great. No, hey, that's what you're looking for. You find those advantages. Very cool. So how the one thing I'm finding right now is everybody's hanging in there pretty well business in 2023. The big question that I've been seeing, the big aspect is 2024. And holes in the backlog in 2024, and that's got some people a little uneasy. But how are you
Yeah.
looking for 2024? How's double plate glass looking? How are you feeling about the future?
Um, it's definitely shaky, especially with the political environment and interest rates and commercial space. It seems like whatever you search on Google, you can find a link for it, whether it's good or bad. It just
Yeah.
depends what you put in the search box. I've seen a ton of commercial uh, space available across the U.S. That kind of freaks me out. But on the flip side, I've seen opportunity for investors where they're taking commercial space and making it multifamily. So
Yeah.
you know, smart people will take opportunities and make the most of them. So I'm hoping that it stays strong. We're seeing a lot of multifamily. That's kind of keeping us going. And then I'm trying to eat up as much public work as I can as far as college work. But yeah, I feel optimistic. 2025 is kind of where I'm a little shaky. I haven't seen much opportunity, although it is far out. But yeah, I feel okay about 2024.
Yeah. Well, and traditionally, I know, some glazers, like yourself do look out, a couple years. And traditionally you're, usually running a good year and a half, 2 years
Right.
backlog. And so I can understand why you're a little concerned, but I think COVID changed a lot of that. I think, those longer backlogs have changed because we all suffered once COVID was over, or not over, but COVID settled a little bit, and the supply chain. There's some people at COVID still going on, but the supply chain mess and the cost volatility killed all of us.
Yeah.
So if you had a backlog and you were a year and a half out, what you quoted a year and a half
Oh,
previous, forget it. It was
oh
gone. I
man,
mean, we got crushed, all of
it
us.
was a tough battle to fight. Just on all those contracts we won, like in 2019 or so,
Yeah.
or 2020, and it's like, well, we got to have the conversation about material escalation, and some people were workable, some people weren't, and we just had to take what we can get, and luckily we were able to pull through. But you're totally right. It was really tough to navigate, and it's definitely changed the game moving forward.
No doubt, no doubt. And the one thing I'll say is that, the fact that you guys are vast and very diverse probably does help you when an economy starts to bump a little bit because you can focus in different areas pretty quickly. And it's
Yeah.
funny, sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's a curse, and it might be a blessing that you have that ability to, turn on a dime, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, commercial outfits that are only geared up for one thing, yeah, I guess I do have an edge on that sort of thing. We kind of pivot. And so, yeah, we'll do what we can to keep our guys busy, but feeling good about 2024 as far as our
Great.
backlog. There's a ton of college work out there, which is keeping us going.
Yeah, and I think that college work should continue, and it's good that you're in that world. So that's awesome. So wrapping up, will we see you in Atlanta? I know it's cross country for you. Will you be coming to GlassBuild, or will you come across country? A couple different cross country options for you to Nashville for BEC. When will we see Evan Afner in person? GlassBuild, BEC, or both, or neither?
I always like make it a game time decision.
Okay.
And Andrew reaches out to me and somehow gets me to go, with last minute.
Andrew Herring from NGA is very, very
Oh, man,
hard to
he's
ever
good at what
say
he
no
does.
to. Yes.
Yeah. He's
You
good at
can't.
what he does. He's yeah, I love Andrew. But he just always gets me to go last. I'm like, oh, I'm not going. And then somehow I find myself on a flight,
Well, I look forward to seeing you at one of the two, just because I think, what did you think of BEC this last year? I think you had a good time, correct?
It was my first time at BEC, and I honestly didn't know what it was all about until Andrew told me, and he took me aside and he's like, "Hey, if you're not going to GlassBuild, you should really think about going to BEC because I think you're really gonna like this." And man, it was eye opening. It was kind of like a distilled version of GlassBuild. It was like so dense, and I just got so much so quickly from different business owners. It's one of my favorite things to do is just to talk to other glazers and share problems and share what solutions we've done. And I even like doing it with competitors. Like I talk to Adam with Pacific Coast Glazing all the time. He helps me out all the time, and I so appreciate it. And I love doing that. I love networking inside other glazers,
You nailed it. See, and I love the networking aspect. I think that's what makes this industry special, is the networking and people to be able to share best practices, because we all get better. It's important. That's the whole thing. When you share best practices, we all get better. It makes our industry look better, because there's always going to be one or two people in a market that are the go alone sorts that are bombing numbers and doing crappy work that hurt the rest of us. So that's why doing the right thing, the majority doing the right thing is good for our industry, and that's why best practices matter, in my opinion. People think I'm nuts, but that's the road I like to take.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, who wouldn't want to see our industry getting better, our products getting just better all around? I mean, that's what we should hope for.
Absolutely. This has been great. I have been thrilled to have Evan Afner from boy, I'm struggling here to finish. Evan Afner, Vice President and Owner, Double Play Glass. Find him online, DP Glassco, DPGLASSCO.com. See everything that they do. You may see that good looking face at GlassBuild or BEC or both, depending on if Andrew Herring is very convincing or not. But one way or another, we'll see him at one of these events. But thank you so much, Evan, for doing the podcast. This was really cool to get to know you a little bit better, and I look forward to seeing you in person one of these days.
No, absolutely, Max. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to seeing you in person again. And I'm just a huge fan of what you do for this industry and connecting us all together. I wish other trades had a person like you. So yeah, I really appreciate you, and looking forward to meeting again.
That makes my day. And again, full admiration to you and everything you've done there. This is you're on a rocket ship, my friend. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
Max.
you. Thanks. All right, that'll wrap up the guest portion of the show. Thank you to Ashley. Thank you to Evan. Great people. I think everyone's going to enjoy these takes that these two gave from the West Coast and the East Coast. Good stuff. As always, this podcast brought to you by myglassclass.com. Check that out for your educational needs from the National Glass Association. That is myglassclass.com. And before I let you go this month, 2 TV shows. As always, I'm always talking TV or movie or something like that. The mini-series documentary Quarterback on Netflix. I'm a sports fan, but even if you're not a sports fan, the way they've put this 6 or 7 episode thing together, focusing on 3 different NFL quarterbacks, is really a great watch. Really interesting to get a little bit of a background on what these guys go through and just the approach that they have to take and their teams have to take. It's called Quarterback on Netflix. Check that out. Also on Netflix, and I may have mentioned this last month, and I forgot to double check before I started to record, FUBAR, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is also on Netflix. I thought it was pretty good. Not the heaviest lift calorie wise, not the most intense. A good treadmill show, in my opinion. Kept things going, had a little cliffhanger action to it. So that's called FUBAR, also on Netflix. That will wrap things up for this month. We're getting close to GlassBuild, folks. GlassBuild season is upon us. Please get yourself registered, ASAP. Get your hotel room. Use the code POD for a free entry. But we look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, October 31st, November 1st, and 2nd. We'll definitely have a lot more on that in the coming months on the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Have a good month.
Oh, the music is stopped.